History Chapter 4. India in the 18th Century. Part 3. Independent States and Regional Powers. Welcome to Part 3, students. As the Mughal Empire crumbled, several independent states emerged across India. Let's explore the most important of these states: Bengal, Hyderabad, Awadh, Mysore, and the Maratha and Sikh kingdoms. Understanding these states helps us see how India was politically fragmented in the 18th century. Bengal under independent Nawabs. Bengal was one of the richest provinces of the Mughal Empire, known for its fertile land, prosperous trade, and textile industries. Murshid Quli Khan became the first independent Nawab of Bengal. He was originally a Mughal gunner but declared independence when the central government became weak. Murshid Quli Khan shifted his capital to Murshidabad and established an efficient administration. He effectively organized the revenue system to ensure regular collection of taxes. He introduced the Ijra system, a new method of land revenue collection based on contracts. Under this system, revenue collection was auctioned to the highest bidder, who would then collect taxes from peasants. He also reorganized the Zamindari system, for which he is well remembered in Bengal's history. However, Bengal's independence didn't last long. In 1757, the Battle of Plassey was fought between the British East India Company and Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah. The English defeated Siraj-ud-Daulah through treachery. They bribed his commander Mir Zafar to betray him during battle. From then onwards, the English East India Company functioned as kingmakers in Bengal politics. They placed puppet Nawabs on the throne and controlled them completely. Finally, the English established their full control in 1765 when Robert Clive set up the dual government in Bengal. Under this system, the company collected revenue but the Nawab remained nominally in charge of administration. This gave the British enormous wealth from Bengal while avoiding direct responsibility for governance. Hyderabad under the Nizams. Chin Kilij Khan, also known as Nizamul Mulk, founded the independent state of Hyderabad in 1724. He established the Asaf Jahi dynasty that ruled Hyderabad until India's independence in 1947. The Nizams were powerful rulers who controlled a large territory in the Deccan. Hyderabad became a wealthy state with a sophisticated culture blending Hindu and Muslim traditions. The Nizams maintained their independence longer than most other states, though they eventually had to accept British suzerainty. Awadh. Awadh, located in northern India, also became an independent state under Safdar and his successors. The Nawabs of Awadh were known for their refined culture, poetry, music, and art. The capital Lucknow became a major cultural center. However, Awadh's rulers were often weak and pleasure-loving. The British gradually increased their influence over Awadh. Eventually, in 1856, the British annexed Awadh, claiming misgovernance. This annexation was one of the major causes of the revolt of 1857. Mysore under Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan. In southern India, the Kingdom of Mysore emerged as a powerful independent state. Hyder Ali was an extraordinary man who started his career as an ordinary soldier in the Mysore army. Through his ability, courage, and intelligence, he rose to become the ruler of Mysore. Hyder Ali was a brilliant military commander. He won many battles against the Marathas and the Nizam of Hyderabad. Most importantly, he fought 2 Anglo-Mysore wars against the British and defeated them both times. He modernized his army, trained his soldiers in European military techniques, and even established a small navy. He also built a strong administration and improved Mysore's economy. After Hyder Ali's death in 1782, his son Tipu Sultan became ruler. Tipu Sultan is known as the Tiger of Mysore because of his fierce resistance to British expansion. He continued his father's policies of modernization and resistance to British power. Tipu Sultan was a patron of learning and technology. He sent ambassadors to France and Turkey seeking alliances against the British. He introduced new administrative systems and promoted trade and industry. He planted the Liberty Tree in his capital, inspired by the French Revolution, showing his progressive ideas. Tipu fought 2 more wars against the British, the Third and Fourth Anglo-Mysore Wars. In the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War in 1799, the British, aided by the Nizam and the Marathas, defeated and killed Tipu Sultan. He died fighting bravely, defending his capital Seringapatam. With his death, Mysore's independence ended, and it came under British control. The Maratha Confederacy. The Marathas had established a powerful kingdom during Shivaji's time. After his death, the Peshwas became the real rulers while the descendants of Shivaji became mere figureheads. The office of Peshwa, initially not hereditary, gradually became hereditary in the Bhatt family. Balaji Vishwanath was the first Peshwa to make the position powerful. His successors, Baji Rao I, Balaji Baji Rao, and others expanded Maratha power across central and northern India. The Marathas collected Chauth and Sardeshmukhi taxes from territories they controlled or protected. However, the Maratha state was more a confederacy than a centralized empire. Different Maratha chiefs, the Gaikwad of Baroda, the Bhosle of Nagpur, the Holkar of Indore, and the Scindia of Gwalior, controlled different regions and often acted independently. This lack of unity weakened them. The Third Battle of Panipat in 1761 was a devastating blow. Though the Marathas recovered somewhat, they never regained their former strength. Later, they fought 3 Anglo-Maratha wars against the British and were eventually defeated. The Sikh Kingdom in Punjab. The Sikhs, who had been persecuted by the Mughals, gradually emerged as a powerful community in Punjab. After Guru Gobind Singh's death, Banda Bahadur led the Sikhs and established Sikh power in Punjab. Though he was eventually captured and executed by the Mughals, Sikh resistance continued. In the late 18th century, Maharaja Ranjit Singh united the Sikhs and established a powerful Sikh kingdom in Punjab. He brought the whole area west of the river Sutlej under his control. In 1809, He signed the Treaty of Amritsar with the British, which confirmed his conquests and established his sovereignty over territory west of the Sutlej. Ranjit Singh was a capable ruler who modernized his army with help from European officers, promoted trade and agriculture, and ruled justly over both Sikhs and non-Sikhs. His kingdom was the last major independent Indian state. It was only after his death in 1839 that internal conflicts weakened the Sikh kingdom, and the British eventually conquered Punjab. Conclusion of Part 3. The 18th century saw the emergence of several powerful independent states as the Mughal Empire fragmented. However, these states often fought among themselves rather than uniting against the growing British threat. This political fragmentation helped the British gradually establish control over India. In Part 4, we'll summarize this period and understand its significance.